everyone, it's Kim at Foggy Bonnet. I'm going to show you today how I made this card, and it's all about making your own stamp pad using multiple inks so that you get this multicolored image with one stamp. It's called the baby wipe technique, and the reason it's called that is because you use a baby wipe to make your stamp pad. So I'm going to jump right in here and pull one of these out. I'm just using Pampers baby wipes. These are alcohol free. I don't know that that makes any difference, but that's what I'm using. I'm also using a silicone craft mat. Mine is from Ranger. I did try using my Stampin' Up! Silicone mat, and the red ink stained it a little bit, so I decided to use this one. I don't care if this one gets stained. So anyway, you start with your baby wipe and you fold it into quarters, and some of these have some creases in them from where they're manufactured, how they come off the roller, I guess. I try to keep any creases on the bottom because that will affect how your stamp picks up the ink. So this looks pretty smooth here. So now I have my baby wipe folded in quarters, and I'm going to drop ink onto it from these refill bottles. These are available from Stampin' Up! To re-ink your ink pads, and they're just the liquid ink. So the four colors that I'm using for today's card are Granny Apple Green, Melon Mambo, Mango Melody, and Coastal Cabana. So I'm just going to take these one at a time and drop some ink onto this folded baby wipe. And I'm just going to put 2 drops and then move somewhere else and put 2 drops, distributing the ink on the baby wipe just like that. Then I'm going to get another color and do the same thing. Okay, and I'm going to drop this color in some blank areas. Just a couple drops each time. Just like that. I have a piece of fuzz there. Okay. And then the Granny Apple Green, same thing. Just gonna put a few drops in the blank spaces here on my baby wipe. 1, 2, oops. And then finally the Coastal Cabana. And you can see the ink spreads out on the baby wipe, which is fine, and kind of fills in the blank areas. So that looks pretty good. So this now becomes my stamp pad. I've seen demonstrators make these on, what I mean is lay their baby wipe on a coated paper plate, which is fine. I like using the craft sheet. It protects your work surface because this does bleed all the way through eventually. So there you have that. And I'm using a stamp from the Love of Leaves stamp set, photopolymer stamp set. I've got it ready to go. And for these stamps, I do recommend using the cushion or the pad. I'm using the pad out of my Stamparatus with a sheet over it to protect it. This is a distinctive stamp, which means that it holds different amount of inks in different spots on the stamp to give a purposely shaded look. So I like using a pad under it. And then I just have a piece of Whisper White here cut to 1 7/8 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to stamp this image across. So the trick to using this homemade stamp pad is to just go down once and pick up the ink. Normally when we're using just a regular ink pad, we might tap, tap, tap a few times when we're picking up the ink. But with this, you just want to go down once and pick it straight up. And the reason for that is you don't want to mix the inks together on the stamp itself. That's going to give you too much mixed ink and it'll look muddy. So you just want to go straight down, pick up your ink, lift it up, and I'm going to stamp once just to check what I've got here, and that looks pretty good. And this happens, the baby wipe will stick to the stamp. That's okay, just fix it. You don't have to rinse your stamp in between, just come back in, and I'm going to hold that corner. You can go to a different place, pick up your ink, lift, and same thing when you're stamping on your paper. Just press down and lift up like you normally stamp. I'm going to start in the middle here and try to get this centered. Press down, lift up, and there we go. Love that. So I'm going to rotate my stamp and pick up another area of color. Press down, lift up, come over here, there we go. Love that. It looks so pretty and it's so easy. Press down, pick straight up, go over here. Hope I'm still on camera. I am. Straight down, lift up, very nice. And I'm going to go in between now with these. And you can see every stamped image is a little bit different. That's what's so fun about this. It just depends on where you put your stamp down on your homemade ink pad here. There we go. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Beautiful. I just love those. Perfect for fall. So I'm going to go ahead real quick and put together this card for you. I have a crumb cake card base that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then a piece of soft suede that was originally 3 1/2 by 5 1/2, and I just tore off about 1/4 inch from each long side, and then a piece of Coastal Cabana that was 3 inches by 5 1/2, and again I just tore off about 1/4 inch from each long side, and that's going to layer on top just like that. And then this whole thing will layer on the card base with my stamped image on top, just like that. Now on my original card I did a little bit of inking. I'm not going to do that on this card. I'm just going to leave this white. But first I do want to stamp hello down here. So that hello comes from the same set, Love of Leaves stamp set. Here it is. My favorite little ink, my favorite little clear block here. And I believe I use soft suede. Yes, I'm going to use soft suede to stamp my hello sentiment. ink up. You see how I'm tapping on that? We do that on our ink pads, don't we? But you just need to remember when you make one of these baby white ink pads, you don't want to move. You just want to go down once and pick up. So I'll stamp off. Just check my stamp. It looks good. I think I'll put it right here. Can't decide where I want to put it. I think I'll put this one here. Perfect. Okay, so I can just quickly put this card together. This is an old snail adhesive. I just happen to have some of these on hand. Trying to use them up. So I'm just going to center this left to right and vertically. Whoops. Just like that, and then I'll adhere this one to the soft suede. Really a simple card, so easy. There we go. And then this whole thing will be adhered to the card front. Just like that. There we go. How easy is that, and how pretty. So make yourself an ink pad. Use your favorite colors. I used 4 colors, but you could certainly do this with just 3, even 2 might be enough. You can play around with it, but give it a try. It's a great way to get a nice special effect, a super easy technique. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.